All right, now this episode is all about timing if you haven't noticed already. And just right off the top, if you actually look at those two, say, time codes, they're actually not exact. And you might be thinking, well, why is that? And it's because one is done in 30 frames per second and the other one's in 60. And so that's me in the garage. And I'll explain that here in a little bit. But this video is really, really interesting because it actually shows how God intervened. And especially because I was, in a rough place. I was trying to get these challenges out. I was stressed out. I kind of didn't know my direction. I was just trying to figure out who I was as a creator and, if this was even doing any good. And I would get compliments from friends and family about videos. And that was really helpful because I was struggling. So what had happened at this one specifically was that I attempted to take on Richie B's just at the spur of the moment. And it was a challenge I thought about for many months. And, I never really had the time to go in or something would happen. And I discussed the one actual time I tried before, but that's, that was a blessing in disguise. And I wasn't ready. And if I had done, say, this challenge back then, I didn't have the skills or let's even say the, confidence in making, I would call this is a decent video, in my opinion, as maybe a C style editing and, it's not my best, but to me, it was started expressing and reflective more who I am. And that's what I liked most about it. And then something else too, is I was able to push this more on social media and get more comfortable with that. And then it was just, to me, this was a turning point. This is when things kind of changed in how I was going to do videos, what challenges I was going to take on. So I explained a lot of things in the video about the pizza, and that's not what I'm here to talk about today. It's just that, Marcus is only there because I was walking to go do this challenge, and I can't remember if I texted him or he texted me, but he decided he wanted to take this on. He was already making dinner or something, and I was like, well, I'm going right now. You got to meet me. And he's like, cool, man, I'll be there in 10 minutes. And I had my backpack on and I pretty much at this point had learned how to, pack everything up, how to be ready to go make a video at moment's notice, because I learned that as I was trying to schedule challenges and plan everything, it never worked out how I planned it. And I'm a very structured, planned person, in my opinion. So that was really difficult. I was like, kind of stressed out, like trying to figure out when I could shoot the challenge, what challenge am I going to do? I had this really very planned out strategy and plan in order not just for my diet, but for editing purposes and a bunch of other reasons. So that's what's really cool about this video is now that I'm looking back, it was at the perfect time. It's when right before I needed to start shooting the next series, which we'll talk about in the next video. But this is me of more of myself, and it was something I had always wanted to do. And at the same time, where it has to do with what I talked about last week, which was being competitive. So yes, in the back of my mind, I probably did want to beat, say, that fastest time, but I just know there's people in the world that could destroy it. It's not the most important to be famous for 5 minutes with a time, but it was a better experience to shoot this video with Marcus, it was actually kind of a starting point because there was more videos of Marcus, and this is actually a very good lead in and a foreshadow of what was to come in future videos that were a lot better. And so this was my first little collab with someone, and I was really excited about it. And it wasn't about who was faster. It was really just about doing this together, encouraging each other. And that's kind of my life principle, right? Is encouragement and helping others out. And so it's part of my beliefs, and maybe one of the reasons, probably the primary reason why I'm doing all these videos is just to be helpful. So what do we have here? We have this pizza challenge is going on. It happened at the last minute, and then I edited it, and then that's it. So then I had to start a whole new series. And if you've been paying attention in the garage, yes, I was pretty organized. I was sorted at this point. I was always ready at a moment notice. And that was really important because now I was shaped into the person I needed to be. I had the skills and I had just enough talent and just enough know-how to make this stuff happen, to make a production, to be comfortable out in public, to go outside of my comfort zone, because this was hard. It was something that I'm kind of naturally introverted. So to just take on all this content and stuff, it was something that I had to have faith, and I still have it. And so I'm very thankful for that. And what I learned at the end of the day is to be patient. Wait on God's timing. That's more important.
Now, yeah. We're going to have to go to the camera footage. Keep rolling. My freaking timer. I pressed start, I thought.